want to talk about living with unforgiveness in our heart. Yeah, I just want to tell someone today, stop living with unforgiveness. Stop it. It's time for us to stop living in unforgiveness. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. So this year in January 2nd, I was doing a 3-day fasting. And while I was doing the 3-day fasting, the voice of God came to me the first time, and it was like 12 o'clock, and said, I was going to die that night, and my spirit is going to raise up. And it came back at 3, and it said, you're going to die tonight, but your spirit shall rise. And I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm not going into words of how I'm going to die. And it came back after 6. So before the incident happened, I was watching John, the story of John, and Jesus was telling his disciple that a seed is just a seed unless it's planted and buried. Then it brings forth leaf, branches, and then fruit. So I'm like, okay, so after I watched that and I got up and I fell. Didn't even know I was on the floor. So I'm just saying I fell because I didn't even know I fell. So all I know was my spirit was over my body in my bedroom, and I was laying on the ground in total darkness. And I saw my spirit position itself back into my body. And when I got up, there was a burning sensation in my forehead, and I went to look, and I could see like a needle hole in my forehead, like a puncture, but it was all white inside. And I didn't understand what was going on, but when I went and lay on the bed after the incident, I heard God say, this is your new beginning. Everything that you've been through, and faced back in those days, everything is just washed away, wiped away. Everything has been erased, and this is a brand new beginning for you. So I was still kind of understanding what really happened, and I was talking to a friend, and she was like, oh, Marjorie, it's like you're being reborn again. And she was like, have you ever seen a seed? It has to be buried in darkness. So when you're in your room, when you saw yourself in the room in darkness, a pea has to be buried, or seed has to be buried in darkness. And it's like when she showed me, she talked to me, she was like, it's like you got a brand new start all over. But I'm like, okay, so what is that puncture mark that was in my forehead? And all I was seeing is white. So she didn't know, so another person interpreted that part and said, have you ever seen a seed when it sprout? He said, that's your sprout. That is your sprout. That's the light coming through you. That's what was on your forehead when you said you just saw the white part. That's your sprout. And I'm like, oh my God. It's like when he said it, it's like it's a part of the puzzle that I couldn't understand. Like it took 2 people to interpret what that meant, what God was saying to me. But in everything that went on, this is what happened. So my brother was missing. And God had to show me that if my spirit did not go back to my body, I would have died, and I would not make it into heaven because of unforgiveness. So I have to share this with someone out there. He told me that if my spirit did not re-enter my body and I had died, I would not have made it into heaven because of unforgiveness. So let me break down what my unforgiveness was. My brother went missing in 2017. Till this day, we don't know where he is. And nothing. His wife and family have not reached out to us. I know in my spirit they did it. Okay, but you can't prove something without a body. So my dad went, a year later, my dad had dementia. My dad just died last year in January. And it pained me so much to know that that is what brought my dad to where he was, to the grave. Because after his son went missing, he just went down the road. Just went down, and in health. And it hurt me so much. The pain was so much that these people did this to my brother, and we loved them. But because of they wanted what they want, and my brother did not want to give them what they want, I don't know what happened, but I know in my spirit that they did it. They have not reached out to not one of us till this day. So that alone tell you that some guiltiness is there. So I was that hurt that when I pray, I ask God to reverse the same thing they did to my brother to them. And I wanted it to be a generation curse. That's how mad and bitter I was. I was so mad and bitter. Everything come out of my mouth was negative towards them. Because you're in my spirit is like you took my brother's life and think y'all gonna get away with it. That's how mad I was. I remember my sister said, "Leave it to God, let God." I'm like, no, I'm praying that God move right now. I want to do something right now. That's how mad and angry I was. And God had to open my eye and say to me, if I had died and my spirit did not go back in that body, I would have never make it into heaven because of unforgiveness and the anger I had towards everything that was going on. I wouldn't have made it. And he would come back and reference to the Bible where, in the last day, people like myself would say, Lord, I cast demon out in your name. I have healed people out in your name. I've done this. And he's going to say, depart from me, ye workers of iniquity, I knew you not. I would be a part of that one because I'm out there doing God's will and all that, not knowing that I wasn't even going to heaven. I was going straight to hell, not knowing that I actually know, but because the table was reversed and it was happening to me, the pain override the word. I know the word, but my pain that I was feeling was overriding the word and was holding on to unforgiveness. I was holding on so much with unforgiveness, bitterness, that I wanted the same thing that they did to my brother be reversed back to them. So I'm standing here today to say to anybody that is going through things, I don't care what people did to you. We have to learn to let it go. Like my mom used to say, let go and let God. So I'm telling somebody out there today, let it go. I know it's hard, especially when you know they did you that bad, that much dirt and do you that bad, knowing that you did not even deserve it. And most of the time you didn't even do nothing for what people did to you. But we have to learn to let things go and let God deal with everything, because he said vengeance is mine. So let him take over and fight for us, fight our battle. But we need to stop living in unforgiveness. We need to learn to let go. And guess what? We will maybe live longer, because with all that anger, that can give us a heart attack or a stroke. We have to learn to let go. Let God's light shine through us. And I realized that I was also blocking my blessing. I couldn't see the blessing of God because my pain override everything else. So I couldn't even see the blessing of God because it's like I was cursing my own self because I wasn't seeing any blessing. And when I learned to let go when everything happened this year, and when God opened my eyes for me to see where I was, that I was living in unforgiveness, and I let go and let God start leading me and walking in the path that he wants me to walk in, I see blessing coming my way. I see so much doors being opened to me when I learned to let go, because I was stopping my own blessing and did not even know that. So I just want to share with somebody today, let go of all your unforgiveness if you want to make it into heaven. Because if you don't, it don't make sense living in unforgiveness. Especially if we sing God. So if we sing God and desire God and know God for ourselves, we need to know when to let things go. That's all I have to say today. And for those who join me for the first time, I thank you for finding this channel. And leave your comment. And if you got questions, leave your question too. And just have a good one. God bless you. Goodbye.